So, what crops are you currently growing and what have you planted already for this season?
Right now, I have, I believe, about 17 different varieties of tomatoes, and then I have a plethora of cucumbers and eggplant and peppers. And my pride and joy this year is some corn that I got from the Navajo reservation. My aunt, she grew up on the reservation and she wanted the corn to live on. And so she was able to bless me with some of the corn that her grandmother and her previous generations have been cultivating for centuries. So that is my
Oh,
pride and joy this year to get that started, and I'm excited to share that with everyone.
perfect. Now, please tell us. I know you've been working on a few things. You've been sharing your crops with the community. You also have a gardening class. Can you talk to us about that?
The gardening class is something I do during the seasons of spring all the way up into the fall. And that's when people come to the house and I just give them a tour of the front potager garden. And then I just teach them all that I know. I teach them how to prune their own tomatoes or peppers and just teach them what I can so that they can grow their own food in their own backyard because it's very simple. You just need someone who's patient and willing to teach you.
Hmm. Now, you also have a wellness center, and please forgive me if I am mispronouncing the name. I have it as Yaga Wellness
Yes.
Center. How did you come up with that name, and what are some of the things that you do at your wellness center?
Okay. Well, Kirinyaga also translates to Kenya from the country
Mm,
Kenya. And so I just figured I would like to do Kirinyaga because the reason why they changed it from Kirinyaga to Kenya is because the colonizer couldn't pronounce it. And I remember growing up as a child in a predominantly white community, it was hard for them to pronounce Kenya too. So I was like,
okay.
well, let's just go ahead and name it Kirinyaga. and at the wellness center, we do
Mm,
massages because I'm a massage therapist as well. And I believe in
mm,
holistic health. I believe that everything is intertwined. So, learning how to grow your own food, learning how to reconnect your spirit back to the earth, learning to do your breath work and stretch your body and eat right and just spend time in creation. And so I try to encompass all of that into this wellness center with through touch, smell, the birds, everything. Nature is
everything.
my playground.
Now, is the food from your garden served at the wellness center? Is there food that your clients can purchase there, or is it only for the community uh, shop?
No, there's plenty of food for them to purchase because the lot is pretty big, and so there's enough food for me to cook for them, enough for me to share with my neighbors and my family, and then there's also plenty to share if they want to buy any too.
Perfect. Okay. Now, what is a Three Sisters garden? I was
Three
looking on your
cents.
Instagram and I saw that something was recently planted. You had an in-ground garden. For you mentioned how planting is very easy for the average person. All they need is some patience. So, can you talk to us about what a Three Sisters garden is?
The Three Sisters Garden is what the Native Americans here in North America. This is what they started. So they had corn, they had beans, and then they had squash. And so those three together, you add nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium to your soil, and they all work together in harmony. Because the beans, they'll create long tap roots. The squash will cover over the crops and protect your soil from the sun and help retain moisture. And then the corn provides the stalk for the beans to travel on. So it all works together in harmony.
Are there any other crops that could be grown together like that?
Yes, peppers and basil and tomatoes, they work very well together. And basil actually enhances the flavor of the tomato or the pepper. You can also you can work with garlic and onions. That's a good combination too. And there's just a bunch of different things. I try not to lean too much on what you can grow together and what you cannot, because I've heard people say you can't grow a tomato next to an eggplant, and I've done it before successfully. So I really just say, just play around, create it like your canvas because you are the artist and this is your garden.
Perfect. Now, vendors and vibes. What is that?
Vendors and Vibes is an event that I just want to create for our local artisans because I know a lot of people who create necklaces or different types of crafts, or if they're an artist, they don't get the place to showcase their work, or it's hard for them to make money because not a lot of people want to, I guess you can say, support local artisans that much. And so I just want to give back because I have such a beautiful home in the garden. I figured why not have the people here, because I'm an artist as well with how I create my garden and curate the spaces that I'm in. I figured I could just share my space and give back to them, and we all work together in community.
Oh, perfect. What information is passed at one of your Vendors and Vibes events, and what activities do you involve your clients in?
For the Vendors and Vibes event, let's see,
Yes.
they usually come to the house, and this is the first time we're going to do it. And so, what we're expecting is for them to come. There'll be different types of vendors. Some will be, I'm in my apothecary right now, so this is my studio. And I guess you can say our main vendor will have this studio, like we did with an art and garden show that we had a few weeks ago. And she was able to display all of her art throughout my studio and showcase it to her family, her friends, and whoever came. But that's pretty much what we want for people at the Vendors and Vibes. We want the vendors to make money, and we want for the customers that come in to just enjoy a different experience than what they have in their mundane lives.
Perfect. Now, when is this event?
It was originally June 5th, but we've had a lot of attention ever since our first retreat and a lot more opportunities. So we decided to push it back to June 26th, Saturday, so that we can have more time to prepare and really give it our all and our full attention for this event.
Okay. And Saturday, June, you said 26th. What time, if there's anyone here in Alabama who would be able to attend?
It starts at 3 p.m. and then later on that night we'll have a movie and comedy show in my garden, because the garden is leveled off in three terraces, and so we'll have it set up like a movie theater. I have a projector, and then we'll have a huge screen and a popcorn machine, and just give people a different a nice experience than what they've been able to have because of lockdown and not being able to go out and have fun like normal.
Right. Well, Sister Kenya, it sounds like you are just blossoming and growing right along since we've last spoken. I look forward to speaking with you again to see what you're up to at that time.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us today and tuning into National Network View News. Please share your thoughts with us in the comment section below. Follow us on social media at NNV News, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, NNV News. This is Rosalind Parks with National Network View News. Good night.
Be a part of the force that powers truth in journalism. Go to nnvnews.com/donate.